Ron and Mary here. This evening, we thought we'd chat with you about a question that we're often asked. We call this work spiritual psychology. But what really is the relationship between spirituality and psychology? So, Ron, would you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. When we began this work, really, the name of the program was Effective Living Seminars. That was the very first name that we had for this work. And then, when we began to offer it as a master's degree program, the name was Applied Human Relationships. And the more that we started to have experiences in the classroom by applying what to us were sound psychological principles, we began to notice a very interesting thing, and that is that people started having experiences that, from our own reading, were very similar to what are described as mystical or spiritual experiences. And it didn't take too long before we realized that, oh my God, there's a connection here. And this really opened up a tremendous door that was the foundation for bringing these two notions together and realizing that it was this business of resolving unresolved issues that in and of itself led to and resulted in, almost automatically, people having a higher level of experience that are described as spiritual experiences. And that really became the foundation of how this work started. And from there, we just kept building on it, and that relationship between the two began to become more solid and more foundational, and in fact has become the foundation of this work.
I think when my awareness of all of this really began to deepen is when I understood that the root word of psychology is psyche, and that the meaning of psyche is soul. It's either breath of life or soul. And I understood then that the intention when psychology first began to emerge on the planet really was to assist people in connecting with their divine essence, with the soul essence of who they truly are. And spiritual psychology is very much in harmony with that intention.
You know, very early on when I was working with my first spiritual teacher back in New Mexico, about 50 years ago, she said something that was very interesting to me. And she said, you know, the reason that psychology was inspired onto the planet in the first place was because people had forgotten why they were here. I've never forgotten that. And the more that we have gone on in this work, the more that has proven to be true. And that really was how it all got started for us and where we are with it today.
And that's why one of the most foundational principles of spiritual psychology is that we are divine beings having a human experience. Thank you for joining us.